Good evening, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the Bigger Picture webinar for the evening of Monday, the 17th of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at ctmthebiggerpicture.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of a week. All right, great. Let's have a look at ES. Now, ES, we've gone back up. We've retested this high, as expected. And we do have some negative divergence on the daily chart, which I'll be coming to, and we've got the same on NQ. So we could be making short-term highs here, which is something to bear in mind. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed on NQ, and that hasn't made target yet. On RTY, we retested the high and got a little higher. No current, well, a tiny bit of negative divergence, but it really wasn't enough to register. YM actually didn't participate at all in the rally on Friday and late Thursday. This is still forming what looks like a bull flag. Of course, that could, if that breaks up and goes back and retests the high, that could fuel everything else. In terms of DAX, we have, well, we're hanging around pretty close to the highs here. And no particular reason to think we won't see another retest. In terms of ESTX, no current divergence, again, hanging around pretty close to the highs. So we shall see. And looking at Nikkei, the head and shoulders had already failed here, but it's also failed on the RTH charts on Friday. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed. That hasn't made target yet either. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay, ES, we've made a slightly higher high, and we've got a possible full RSI 5 sell signal brewing on the daily. To go with the RSI 14 sell signal, which arguably has made the possible near-miss target. So we will see whether we get that fixed earlier this week. We do have some historical stats which are well worth a look here. And those are that the first 3 days of this week all lean bullish. 66% on Monday, 62% on Tuesday, 62% on Wednesday. Neutral Thursday and Friday, but that is 3 bullish days in a row at the start of this week. So there will be a bullish lean. Doesn't mean it's got to play out, but obviously it may well. SPX, we have got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing here, and it's nice. We never made it to the possible near-miss target here. In terms of if we go up a little here, then where is my resistance? I reckon I've got that at about the 78, 70 to 80 area here. So that means we could still head up another 80 points and stay under this trend line. But there are other trend lines. Looking at the Qs, the question here is not whether we go to a higher trend line, it's whether this double top here this diamond top here has failed. And really, we're not going to know that for sure until we go back and retest the high. We are reasonably close to retesting that high, but not close enough to that I'm certain it's going to happen. And we've got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing here too. Looking at stocks, this is the other surviving topping pattern here, and this is the Philadelphia Semiconductors Index, and this is backtesting the 50 DMA here. There is nothing inherently bullish about this chart at the moment. This line here is showing where it would need to get up to fail the head and shoulders. It's not making any progress towards that at the moment. Obviously it might, but at the moment I'm thinking this is a pretty obvious area to fail, and we might see a fail there. All right, looking at the hourly charts on both of those, not a lot to see really on either of those. Possible little topping setups here, but nothing really exciting. On Qs here, this is the alternate bull flag setup I'd drawn in, and this is us getting pretty close to the possible bull flag resistance. If we hit that, then that will actually help confirm that this is a bull flag. So really, it would be better if it failed before it reached it, if it's going to fail. In terms of Dia, very nice weekly RSI 5 sell signal brewing. On the daily chart, no current divergence, because of course we haven't retested the high. And here, the obvious trend line to hit up here was already hit. So I'm wondering if we are actually making a high here. Obviously, these trend lines above can be broken, but that doesn't mean they're going to be. And this is a nice reversal, and ever since it hit this level, it's gone from being the strongest of these indices on this move up to being the weakest. Nothing really to see on the hourly chart or the 15-minute chart. Let's have a look at IWM. All right, IWM, on the daily chart, we did have a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing, and we've lost it. Obviously, we retested the high here. We have a potential level top. In the event that we go up to the obvious trendline resistance, I've got that currently in about the 312 area. It does not need to reach that target, but obviously it may, and it could, of course, break up. Nice looking double top here, which is looking pretty tasty. Nothing really to speak of here. We've got a little weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the 15-minute, but it's nothing to write home about. Looking at DAX, DAX, tiny bit of negative divergence here. Mainly I'm watching this trend line here to see if this will hold. We're getting a little overthrow action here, but it's holding at the moment. Nikkei, we had this head and shoulders breakdown, and that's now failed. Could we be forming an alternate head and shoulders? Not really. Not one of any decent quality. This really has a target back up at a retest this high here at 72.8. It could, let's say, if this is forming a bull flag, we could do an ABC and do a lower low while that was happening. But really, this has failed with a target at a retest of this high. All right, great. Let's have a look at the dollar. All right, dollar. Dollar is kicking around near the lows. We had a double bottom breakup with a target in the 158 to 162 area, and at the moment, that's failing. I don't think it was helping that the vice president was saying that he thought the reserve currency was bad and the Americans shouldn't have a reserve currency because it allows people to buy too much too cheaply. So I don't think that'll also inspire many of the electors in the midterms either. I think they're already worried about cost of living getting worse. Wouldn't be particularly attractive, I don't think. All right, looking at USD, looks like a little level top here. GBP USD is testing resistance. USD JPY, this really looks like a bear flag. And of course, if this goes down, it is the dollar weakening, not the yen. So if it's going to go down, that would suggest that if we saw a correlation, then we would see a move up on USD and GBP USD. Right, USD CAD, this did look like flag forming and could still be a flag forming, but it's looking less convincing than it was. Pretty close to getting some positive divergence, possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. Kind of looks like a bear flag forming, but again, getting oversized. NZUSD, not sure what's happening here, but we do have a double bottom that's broken up with a target in the 59.63 area. We've come back, retested this high. We do have a potential level top here, but mainly I've got my eyes on the IHS that's broken up. All right, great. Let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. And okay, US dollar, we have an RSI 5 buy signal fix, and that's not close to target. Now, we're not actually seeing the dollar do anything to the upside at the moment here, and I would note also that we've broken this rising support trend line. So slightly mixed signals here, but we do have a buy signal, and I am always going to be inclined to respect that and look around for ways that it could make target, because they generally do. So we will see how that goes, but I have to say, apart from the fact we've got a buy signal, I'm not seeing any signs of strength here. In terms of the bigger picture, we've got the really big bull flag on USD, we've got a matching bear flag on USD, and we've got a matching bear flag on GBP USD. Short term, I am wondering if this might be, as an alternate, a bull flag breaking up on USD, which would be tending to move up here, and that would be the euro getting stronger and the dollar getting weaker. That's, we will see how that goes. We don't have an equivalent on GBP USD. We've broken this trend line slightly. We have a decent looking double top here, but we could of course go back to the top and retest and get another one. No current divergence. In terms of USD JPY, we've got a really nice setup here. I was talking for months about needing to go back and retest this high, set up a double top, and we've done that. I'm thinking that we might actually see a stage where the yen starts actually getting some real traction on strengthening, and that would mean that USD JPY would go down. Lovely looking double top there, nice looking rising megaphone. This rising megaphone could overall be a bear flag, of course. So this is a potential setup where we might actually see the yen double in value. And I'm wondering if we might see that start happening organically in the next few weeks or months. Short term, though, we've broken the rising support here, no current positive divergence. USD CAD got a decent case for going back up and retesting this high. That would be the dollar strengthening, because of course it is USD CAD rather than CAD USD. Short term, could be a bull flag forming, no current divergence. Australian dollar, we've got a pretty decent looking level top here, hasn't broken down yet, but it might. NZUSD, not sure what's happening here, to be honest. The main thing we've got here is a triangle trying to break up, and we will see. For this to break up and deliver a decent move, that would generally be while the dollar was falling. I am wondering if the dollar is going to start falling. The administration certainly isn't making any effort to talk it up. All right, let's have a look at bonds. Okay, ZB, we've got what looks like a bearish compression here. Possible triangle forming. ZN looks like bearish consolidation as well. This double bottom is showing absolutely no sign of heading off to the target. All right, looking at the bigger picture charts on those. On the TYX chart, on the daily chart, we've still got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, which would be bearish for bond yields and bullish for bonds. This was the last of three signals, one of which failed and another one of which made the possible near miss target. So it stands alone here. Bigger picture, we got triangles in the others, but here was a wedge, broke up. I don't really have an upside target for this, but the corresponding patterns are triangles, and these have targets. Minimum target, but this is a retest of this high here at 49.97, currently at 47.47. That is suggesting that bonds have some way further down to go. FVX, I've got a target from the triangle breaking up at 49.88, and TLT, I've got a triangle breaking down with a target at a retest of 73.10. None of this is looking good for bonds. So we will see how that develops. But really, I think this is we are just consolidating for, in all probability, this goes lower. All right, let's have a look at the oil charts. Now, looking at coil, this looks like a bull flag which is broken up with the target at a retest of the July high. So we will see how that goes. We did have an IHS, it broke up, it fell back into the lows, and we've now made much of the way up. This looks like a bull flag which is breaking up within a larger, well, having broken up from a larger bull flag, which would have a target here at a back test of 95. In terms of CL, less confident that this is a flag, but it kind of looks like a flag which has broken up. Again, we had a IHS. Again, it failed. Again, it went back to the lows and played out. But here, I am wondering about a retest of this high here at 93. Looking at HO, the 6-minute sell signal reached possible near miss target. This could be an overall double top, but I don't think it is. RBOB, this looks like a flag setting up, break up. We've got an IHS target, which is up in about the 2.94 area. I rolled both HO and RBOB into October this weekend, by the way. I'm thinking that would likely get made, and I'm wondering about a retest of this high here at 3.025. NG, we had a double bottom break up, and it looks like that's failing. Could this be an IHS forming? Yes. And if we reversed basically here, then that could be. What I would say is we had a 6-minute buy signal, reached possible near miss target. That's signed off now. We've got no positive divergence, and we're getting pretty close to a retest of this low. That bottom currently looks as though it's failing. All right, let's have a look at oil. Okay, you've already seen basically this is the setup again on the Brent chart, on the hourly chart, and again it looks like a flag, and this looks as though it's going to be heading up into a retest this high here at 102. On the daily chart, we are testing the daily middle band again, and we've closed back above it and are currently in a day above it again. So that is promising for upside. In terms of WTIC, we are testing the daily middle band again. We did not see a close above it yesterday, but it may be in the process of breaking back over. If so, that supports upside targets, first of which would be a retest of this high here at 93 and change. All right, looking at heating oil. Heating oil, we've actually got a daily RSI 14 sell signal fixed, but it fixed at the same time as an RSI 5 sell signal, which has already made target. Sometimes you see these and they never deliver. but we will see. HO pretty close to a retest of the high here. We've got an RSI 14 sell signal that's fixed, and this has now reached the possible near miss target. Looking at gas oil, actually made a lower low here, which was unlike the others. But we're not that far away from the highs, and I think it may well be heading back to it. We do not have a flag that's broken up with a target there, though. And this isn't a double bottom. So short term, we have a flag here that's already made target. We will see how that goes. All right, great. Looking at natural gas. Natural gas, I am wondering if this just fails back into the lows, whether this will continue down into the retest of this low here at 2.495. No current divergence worth the mention. All right, great. Let's have a look at metals. All right, GC has broken up for a double bottom with a target in the 4835 to 4925 range. After that breakup, this looks like a bullish consolidation. In terms of SI, nice looking double bottom, which is broken up with a target in the 71.25 to 72.5 range. And again, this looks like consolidation before it goes higher. Palladium, we've also got a double top, although we do have an alternate possible bear flag here. But the double bottom's broken up with a target in the 1572-1610 range. I'm leaning towards gold going back towards a new all-time high. I'll show you, well, I'll just remind you of the flag that's broken up on the bigger picture charts. We'll see. Platinum, no obvious reversal pattern here yet. This could be a flag, but it's not a decent one. HG. HG has actually set up a very nice looking listed double top. It's less easy to see here on the futures, but it's very easy to see on the RTOs chart. I'm leaning towards this being a high and it heading down from here, but we will see how that develops. But it's a nice looking setup, and I'm not seeing much reason for it to go higher. Let's have a look at, sorry, wrong one. Let's have a look at gold. Okay, gold. The RSI 14 buy signal has reached a possible near miss target now. We've got a double bottom that's broken up, and we've also broken up from this big flag channel that I pointed out after it formed. I think I was talking about it. I've been talking about it since April, and it's now finally broken up. This should be a bull flag with a target at a retest of the all-time high. In terms of silver, nice looking flag here too, although a bit big for a flag because silver more than halved from the high. Nonetheless, looks pretty decent. I'm expecting to see more upside. Broken up for a double bottom there too. Palladium, broken up from a double bottom. I haven't marked it in, but it's the same one on the futures charts. Platinum, nice looking pattern that's broken up here. This again is looking a little big for a flag, but we will see how it goes. Liking more upside, not seeing an obvious reversal pattern. But if we pull back, I could have a right shoulder here, but ideally it would have come down a bit further for the right shoulder. In terms of copper, this is a really nice looking nested double top here. The new double top support trend line would be here, and this would be a very nice setup to go down. Will we go down? Well, we've certainly got negative divergence on the monthly chart, and we are basically up at historical limits. This is a chart from 1970, so it's I mean, obviously this would look different adjusted for inflation, but nonetheless we are in nosebleed territory by historical standards. Looking at GDX, we've got nice breakup. Double bottom broke up, made target, and starting to break up for another a larger double bottom here, and we got the same on GDX. So these are supportive of the patterns which have broken up on gold, silver, and palladium. All right, let's have a look at the other commodities. All right, KC. KC, we've got, looks like a bullish consolidation setting up a retest of this high. Sugar has continued higher and is consolidating at the moment. I think there's a bull flag forming, and I think that might be ABC, maybe get down to about the 1610 area. On CC, CC, this looks as though this is heading up towards a retest of this high, and this is just a consolidation on the way. Lumber, lumber has gone a bit lower, not enough for what I've been looking for here, because I'm looking for a full breakdown here. Obviously, we're still on a 60-minute buy signal. Might see some more rally, might not. CT is heading back up higher. This latest rise is less impressive on the RTO chart, and I'll show you why that is. On ZW, nice looking double bottom that's broken up with a target in the 703-704 area. On corn, oh, by the way, today I've actually rolled wheat and coffee and cocoa into December as well. All right. Corn, we've got a double bottom that's broken up with a target at a retest of this high, and that's on the way at the moment. On soy, we've got a little double bottom that's broken up with a target at the 1204 area. ZL hasn't got a double bottom, and I'm sure it feels left out, but I think the next big target should be a retest of this high here in the 74.45 area. Live cattle, the little double bottom failed, and that's got a target back at a retest this low, which has already been made, but we've still got a head and shoulder target down in the 204.45 area, and I'm leaning towards that being the next big target that's made. In terms of lean hogs, we had an IHS here, it broke up, and that's failed, and that's got a target back at a retest of this low here in about the 79.5 area, and that would be the next obvious place for this to go. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts, and on coffee, I'm wondering if this might be a bull flag forming, setting up another retest. Another retest of this high here, possibly go higher here, but I have to say by historical standards, this was really in nosebleed territory, although not as much as cocoa. In terms of sugar, we've had a very nice breakup from this falling wedge here, and we've reached a big resistance area, which is also a possible inverted head and shoulder neckline. I'm wondering if we might see a right shoulder form here. In terms of the daily chart, no current divergence. Cocoa, well, you can see this was really in nosebleed territory at the highs here. We've had a nice rally from the low, but really I'm not expecting to see a lot higher, but I could be mistaken. In terms of the daily charts, no divergence worth a mention. We could be forming an inverted head and shoulders here, and I am keeping an eye on that. If we were to see a sustained break up over 6478, then we could actually go back to about 9,000 on that pattern. So I would be watching that with great interest. Lumber, this is the break I would like to see. This would be a break below the rising support here, and this is a bear flag channel. And if we see a break below the rising support, which I've got in about the 535 to 540 area, then this would finally be breaking down with a target in the 352 area. We've also got a little level top here, which is broken down with a target in the same area. This has been waiting a long time to break down. I've been talking about it every week. I think we might be close, but it hasn't broken down yet. We have broken down from a trend line here. This is looking promising. Doesn't need to get an awful lot lower to break down. I would like to see that happen. All right, looking at cotton. Cotton, on the spot chart, we haven't made it back up to the retest this high here, and this is what I was saying. This move up looks rather less impressive when you're looking at it on this chart. So nonetheless, I'm looking for a retest of that high next. So I'm leaning towards higher on futures. In terms of the daily chart, no current divergence. In terms of wheat, we've got a double bottom which is broken up with the target in the 739.742 area. We have been getting close. If we retest this high here, then that's the next target area I will be looking for. In terms of the daily chart, we had a buy signal here on the RSI 5, and that has made target. Looking at corn, we've got a nice looking double bottom here too, but this one hasn't broken up on corn. If it does, then it would have a target in the 624 to 640.25 range, and I'm liking that for the next few months under the overall economic circumstances and the fertilizer circumstances. But nothing really interesting happening yet. We do have RSI 514 buy signal on the daily chart that's reached a possible near miss target, and we've got a possible RSI 5 sell signal which is brewing that might just get run over as this goes higher though. So soybeans, this is a potential inverted head and shoulders. It's broken up slightly. It's pulled back. Pretty much so far so usual. It's broken up with a target in the 1560 area. That would be a big move if we see it, and we could be about to see that start. In terms of the daily chart, we had an RSI 5 buy signal. That's made target too. So that's actually played out now. All right, let's finish off with a look at crypto. So bear with me a second. All right. Okay, crypto. We have basically been just trailing around at a very slow speed for the last week or so. We are currently below the daily middle band here, I think. 73.768 is at, and we're currently at 63.41, and that is slightly below the daily middle band, so that is currently holding as resistance along with the 50-day MA. What do I think is happening here? Well, I've been talking about the possible head and shoulder patterns here. We've got a possible inverted head and shoulders here, which is losing power as the right shoulder extends. We've also got a possible head and shoulders here. This is actually now fully formed. I'm wondering if this is going to break down with a target and retest this low here at 57.7k. We shall see. All right, looking at Solana, this has been a little stronger, but not a great deal. They've all been a bit lost in space lately. In terms of the setup here on the daily chart, we are still above the daily middle band, which has been the case for all of last week. And bigger picture, I'm wondering, I've got this nice looking 3-touch support trend line here. This very much looks like a bad flag. And I don't have a pattern here to take this lower, but I am wondering if we might actually just signal the break by breaking down below this rising support trend line, which I've got in about the 73 area, I think. Yeah. So we will see how that goes. But that could give us a nice move down. We shall see whether we get it. All right, let's have a look at the Ethereum chart. Now, Ethereum, again, not been doing a great deal over the last week. In terms of the daily chart, daily middle band is at 1887, and it's at 1900. So it's been above and below a bit here, but it's currently, at the time of speaking, it is above. In terms of the hourly chart here, I am wondering about a little head and shoulders forming here. Could alternatively head up and retest the higher at 1978, but it's not been showing any sign of that doing that so far. We shall see. All of these, I think the odds would favor a retest of the lows here. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, well, I think that's a wrap. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to add. In terms of going up to new highs and so on, so far, this rally has had not much in the way of support from tech. Most of the highs we've made this year have been based on AI and tech. I'm not really seeing an awful lot of grounds for us to be making new highs without those. Now, it may be that tech's going to join the party, but if it doesn't join the party, then I haven't got high expectations about where this might be going. We will see. SO breaks its head and shoulders, starts heading back up to the high, then actually the bulls might really have something here. If not, well, I've got daily sell signals brewing here on SPX and NDX/QQQ, and I'm wondering about a reversal back down. It may not be a full reversal back down, but I'm wondering about certainly putting in a pretty sizable retracement here. We shall see how that goes. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys again on Wednesday. All right, cheers.